Okay, here we go. Co-main is getting fun here, boys. Kevin Holland taking on Jack Della Maddalena. What a fucking fight is this at 170 pounds? Kevin Trailblazer Holland is 30 years old out of Fort Worth, Texas. His record stands at 25-9 with one no contest. Only 4 of his 25 wins has gone to the scorecards. So 21 finishes, 14 of them knockouts. He's riding a 2-fight win streak coming into this weekend at welterweight, knocking out Ponzinibbio and choking out Michael Chiesa in the first round this past July. He'll be standing across from another finisher, Jack Della Maddalena. Should have been on this past weekend's card because he's out of Australia. He would have blown the roof off the place. 27 years old, out of Perth, Australia. 15-2 as a pro, with 13 finishes, 11 of those knockouts. Has not lost a fight. Oh, this is interesting. He lost his first 2 pro bouts, and he has gone undefeated since then. Hasn't lost a fight since 2016. Man, oh man, what a fight. What a matchup. Both these guys is going to be absolute fireworks. Do not blink for this one. Omar, start us off. Give us your take and your pick. Holland versus Della Maddalena.
It's a real interesting fight, man. It's very different styles. I think there's 2 different levels of aggression there as well, and it's not to say that Kevin Holland is not aggressive, but there just seems to be that extra little something about Jack that just seems just a bit more intense when it comes to the way he throws his strikes, the way he closes distance, the way he shoots takedowns. He's somebody to be really concerned about, I would imagine, at least looking from the outside in. Kevin Holland is no slouch, though, man. Those submissions of his are slick, very opportunistic. Even off of a takedown, Kevin Holland can still end the night in his favor from the bottom. He's a dangerous threat as well. His hands, as we all know, are also pretty damn slick. Short of being Wonder Boy, I don't see people outstriking him to that extent. So it's a very interesting fight. I have a really hard time picking it, man. I mean, on paper, I feel like Jack Della Maddalena should win this fight, right? I think he's got momentum, but he's also got that striking. He's got very heavy hands. I think he's giving up height and reach, I would imagine. I'm sure we'll get into that with Mark. But I do think it's a taller order for Maddalena than I think a lot of people might be expecting or assuming that it is. And I think it's kind of the same in some respects for Kevin Holland as well. I think Maddalena is very good defensively, and I don't think he has as many openings as some other folks that Holland has fought have had. But I think it's going to be a lot of work for both of these guys to find an opening that works for them. And I expect this fight to be a lot closer by the end than maybe what people thought. So give me Jack Della Maddalena here.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna take the pick there. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being a split decision, to be honest, something close and ridiculous where one of these rounds could have gone either way, probably will go either way. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But I'm going to go with Maddalena here by decision.
I will go next. In the interest of keeping things a little more fair. I don't think this is going to go to the scorecards. I really don't. There's just too much firepower in this cage between these two guys. Dude, I'm going to go with Della Maddalena here. I think he's going to put a temporary stop on the Kevin Holland welterweight train once again. I like what you said. Yes, I kind of agree that, like, in terms of striking, short of Stephen Thompson, don't know if many guys are going to stand with Kevin Holland at welterweight, but except, in my opinion, for Jack Della Maddalena. So such great power and such great speed and hand speed in this division. I think this fight is going to stamp his ticket. Give me Jack Della Maddalena by knockout or TKO. Oh, man. I'll say round 2. I always say round 2. It just feels like the safest thing. I don't know why. Round 2. Only going to be his second knockout loss in Kevin Holland's career, but I'm going to roll with the guy who cracks out of Australia, Jack Della Maddalena. Mark?
All right. Kevin Holland actually started as the betting favorite in this fight, and money has come in on Jack and flipped it. So Jack is minus 150.
Oh wow.
Kevin Holland is plus 125 as the dog. To reference what Omar brought up about the stats, yes, Kevin Holland is going to be 4 inches taller, and he will have an 8-inch reach advantage in this fight, which is pretty damn huge. And I do not feel prepared at all to make a pick in this fight, so I would like you to just go to the next fight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man, I don't know. It's so hard. I could see myself flip-flop as we get closer to this fight. I really love both of these guys. I wish they weren't running into each other right now. Jack is unbelievable. I have thought that and drove that home on this show since he debuted. The talent is so obvious. I love his style. But at the same time, I think Kevin Holland is the exact type of fighter that could potentially hand him his first UFC loss and kind of slow this rapid ascent just a little bit. And this would have been my read, regardless of what we just saw from him in that Basil Hafez fight. That really didn't change anything for me here. And don't get me wrong, this is very much a coin flip. JDM is a dangerous dude, but he's going to look to strike, and Kevin Holland does a great job of slipping shots, absorbing shots that do land, using his own crazy reach to land from out in space and hurt dudes when they think that they are safe. Not to mention Jack has like a slick sub game that he can sometimes turn to, but it's probably matched or even exceeded by Kevin Holland's own slick sub game. So the 4 inches of height and 8 inches of reach is a lot for JDM to deal with, and maybe he is that good, and I certainly think, in a future fight he could deal with it. I think he's still progressing as a fighter, but where he is right now, I think I'm going to say Kevin Holland is enough to turn him back, and I'm like 51-49 here. As I said, I'm so torn. I could absolutely see like JDM pressuring and Holland backing up to the fence, and then he eats a body shot and he goes down and he just gets swarmed. Could absolutely see that from JDM, and he's that good. But I think I'm going to say Holland stays safe and just kind of lands a bit more from the outside, some hard shots. And I'm going to go to what Omar mentioned and say it's a split decision. I'm going to go with Kevin Holland.